Hey, Happy New Year. In this new year, I have to learn how to wait for God's lead in things instead of always rushing into things like I usually do. And the first lesson, I think, for me is you can't do things without involving God. Now, things may work out, but it's so much better for me to stop, listen to God, and work with God. Now, this came to me recently as I was reading the story of Moses in the Old Testament. And we all know the story of Moses. He was an adopted child of the Pharaoh's family, right? And at the age of 40, he found out his true heritage. He was a Jew. And so he decides to go out and help his people, to set his Jewish people, his people free. And remember, the Jews had been enslaved by the Egyptians for centuries. They were slaves. And so he goes out one day and he sees an Egyptian mistreating a Jew. So he goes over to the Egyptian, hits him, and kills the Egyptian. Well, now he has to flee. He better get out of town. And so he flees into the desert. And God leaves him there for 40 years before coming to Moses and saying to Moses, at the age of 80, right? Coming to Moses and saying, okay, it's time now. Go to the Pharaoh. You are going to set my people free. Well, here's the moral of the story. We cannot do anything meaningful or effective unless we are working with God. Now, this is not my particular forte. I always want to get things done. I always want to rush into things. I want to fix things. If I don't do it, who's going to do it? The Armenian Church moves at too slow a pace for me on several issues. And so often, I just cannot wait for things to unfold, for God to unfold His plan, for me to look at it and discern what I have to do. I just want to rush in and fix things. Now, generally, this is okay. It's worked for me for 40 years of my ministry. Well, 40 years of ministry, huh? It's worked okay. But sometimes I end up spinning my wheels. I have to learn to wait for God's okay, for God's nod, and then to do things with Him. So this new year, let's discern the will of God for us, and then let's act on it. Happy New Year. Take care. Bye.